Good afternoon and welcome to NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Wednesday, the 6th day of January in the year of our Lord 2021. Well, my friends, today is the day. Will Trump's win of this last election be given to him like it should be, or will it finally be stolen from him, and with that, Biden becoming the next so-called president? Big things are happening here, folks, and this is something that should be brought out here and now because everything that I'm going to talk about today is illegal. Georgia state law says so. Georgia law requires a person to vote where they live, and that's Georgia Code 21-216A4. Permitting someone to use a false statement on voter registration is illegal in Georgia and punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment, and that's Georgia Code 21-562A1. Now, this being said, here is what Project Veritas found out. The address of 201 Washington Street Southwest in Atlanta, Georgia, has been used by people who have no address. This, my friends, is illegal according to the codes that I just got through reading to you. But they have voted too. Breaking on the 4th. Central Outreach and Advocacy Center executive busted. Admits to registering countless people using the same address in Georgia. I can't even begin to tell you how many people have that address on their ID. We've done that for years. But that doesn't make it legal. Kimberly Parker, Central Outreach and Advocacy Center Executive Director, said, quote, "So the majority of the people we serve don't have an address, so we allow them to use our address if they register to vote and get Georgia state ID." Unquote. Another one from Parker, quote, "Because you have to have proof of residence, and so although we are not a shelter, we do allow them to use our address of 201 Washington Street," unquote, and that's Atlanta, Georgia. Again, Parker, quote, "So I can't even begin to tell you how many people I have that address on their ID. We've never run into any problem with that until this election. One of our board members got wind that they thought we're doing things not on the up and up because so many have the address, but we've not heard any repercussions from it since," unquote. Parker again, quote, "But it's just a way to, people have to have an address. The only way to get an ID, which you gotta have to get anything else, is to have an address. So we allow that. We've done that for years," unquote. Adam Seeley, Central Night Shelter board member, said, quote, "A couple thousand people had our address registered as their mailing address for their voter registration," unquote. From Atlanta, Georgia, January 4th this year. Project Veritas released a new video today exposing the executive director for Atlanta's Central Outreach and Advocacy Center, or COAC, Kimberly Parker, admitting to the administration's routine practice of registering homeless people to vote using the same address. COAC's mission statement reads, quote, "We open doors to overcome and prevent homelessness," unquote. The organization's mission and history page does not mention anything with regard to registering people to vote. COAC removed its staff page from its website prior to Project Veritas launching this investigation, which shows they knew they were in the wrong. In a related piece of footage from Georgia, Adam Seeley, board member of the Central Night Shelter, also located at 201 Washington Street, and director of social services at Emma's House, confirmed 201 Washington Street is not the only shelter being used to register homeless people to vote. A couple thousand people had our address at Emma's House registered as their mailing address for their voter registration, Seeley said. And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. Today's update has a lot to do with the, quote, cowardice and lying are also contagious, unquote, thing that I talked about yesterday and the day before. If you do things that are wrong, but you think nothing is wrong because you have done it for years, like today's update is about, then the people who do this and the people who allow this are part and parcel of the problem we are having. This woman who was caught by Project Veritas said, "So it's just a way to, people have to have an address. The only way to get an ID, which you gotta have to get anything else, is to have an address. So we allow that. We've done that for years." This woman should know the law in Georgia. She runs an organization in Georgia, and it's up to her to know the law, and it's also up to her to follow the law. If she has been breaking the law for years, she needs to go to prison. And no, she may have been trying to help people, but she was breaking Georgia law to do it. The code says there is a punishment of up to 10 years in prison. But will she go to prison for this? No, she probably won't, and neither will the other one who was speaking here, Adam Seeley. But I guarantee you, if this was done by a conservative or a Republican and it helped Trump to get elected, it damn sure would have been prosecuted. The double standard in this nation is what is destroying this country, and it is happening as I speak, my friends, because no one is doing anything about it. This is voter fraud to the max, and yet the Supreme Court says there is no fraud to look at. The fraud that is happening, my friends, is in our government, in the FBI, in the Supreme Court, in the jurisdictions like this one in today's update that allow this kind of thing to happen. I do not give a tingler's damn about what side is being helped here. I don't give a tinker's damn. What is right, and what is wrong, and people who are breaking the law here should be prosecuted, and that includes the judges and the lawyers and the politicians who are working to make a cheated election stand. Every damned one of them. And the reason they are all up in arms against Trump is because he is doing just that, and they want the prosecutions to stop. And until we, the people, start to show the government who the bosses really are, we will continue to be flushed down the proverbial toilets with no one to blame but ourselves. Now, granted, many people are not getting the correct or true news, but I do not think that anyone is too stupid to know that they are being lied to and not look into it. And I don't care who you are. If you are being lied to, you know you are being lied to. When you are being lied to and you follow the lie, then you are the ones who are to blame for America being damaged and our laws being damaged. All summer long, we have seen lawlessness in our cities by the likes of terrorist lawless groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa, while no one would do anything about it. But in the process, the common person was hurt. The governments didn't care. The lawmakers didn't care. They were and are in it only for themselves, and they still are. It is time to take this nation back, and it is time to help Donald Trump drain the damn swamp of the creatures that are destroying our constitutional republic. The sad part of all this is that a lot of people probably didn't know about this story that I talked about today, even though it happened 2 days ago and has been in the news cycle. Maybe not at the MSM, but it has been in the news. We have to research, folks, especially when we think something is wrong. Thank you all for listening and watching, and I will be back tomorrow with the next installment of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold, with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world from behind the silver microphone of freedom, brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, the place where America always wins. And remember, if we want our freedoms, we have to fight. Some of us are already doing that. The rest are just waiting around to see what will happen. And that is not the thing to do, folks. And what will happen has been chronicled here on NWCR Radio and NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold over the last year, where we always say, we will not be ruled. God bless you all, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.